Oh, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this, guys. Hello. Welcome back to News Dump, your news aggregate at the end of the internet. If you're here, you've reached the end of the internet. After this, it's just credits. How are you guys doing today? It's Tuesday. Having a good day. My son started school yesterday. Got to talk to him on the phone. Had a good time. Dude's getting big. How's everyone else doing? Everyone's kids doing good. If you're a kid yourself, are you doing good? Are you staying out of trouble? I'm kidding. Dad mode off. Goodness. Guys, I as you could probably tell by the title of the video, I don't feel like talking about the news today. I don't feel like it. So, you know, maybe we'll just, I don't know, react to some boomers being mad about Trump. We could always just, no story in sight, dump. Yeah, we dunk right into the abyss of right-wing talking points and see if we have any dissenting opinions. Let's try it out. Let's try it out. Let's see if we can't just like go ahead and start the fire up. You know what I mean? Let's just preheat the oven.
With that, we bring in MURKtv, American Enterprise Institute scholar and Fox News contributor, and Geraldo Rivera, Fox News correspondent at large. Great to have both of you with us today. You know,
good to be with you, Martha.
Geraldo, there are a lot of editorials out there that are along these lines today. This one is from the Wall Street Journal. There is so much ruin in a nation, but no one wants to test the limits of that ruin in America, and about the sort of dis-ease with what is going on here and the concern that a lot of people have about it.
Already.
Well, it is a little bit, I joked with Erica last night, a little bit like a librarian sending a SWAT team to retrieve an overdue library book. It seems wildly excessive, disproportionate.
I don't know about
talking,
that. He was president.
Previously,
Geraldo.
the teams of attorneys
He was the president,
and the U.S.
Geraldo.
officials. What happened to those talks?
Come on.
That they went so malignant?
That dude, what are you even talking about? That's insane. No. No. It's not like a librarian sending a SWAT team after a library book. Like, he took things that should have been in the National Archive. He took things he should have turned over. Goodness. Geraldo.
I have to say, though, particularly
you
with
dishonor
the report
your
we've
mustache.
just seen, that these search warrants are not issued, generally speaking, unless and until there is probable cause that a crime has been committed and that the search warrant is looking for specific evidence and is confident that the search will reveal that evidence. That
there was probable cause. It's not a conspiracy. Oh my gosh. I am so... Okay,
the crime has been committed.
Keep going.
What is it?
I'll entertain it.
What is it? What is this crime
It's
that
Tuesday.
could
Let's get
possibly
fired up.
justify the first ever invasion of a former president's home? I mean, it's not Mexico where routinely the new president investigates the previous president. He goes to jail for corruption or whatever. You know, what the hell happened that we would do something we've never done in this unprecedented, extraordinary way to a former president?
Yeah.
He took files home, man.
Look, this
He took confidential stuff home. There's no larger a red flag. Yes. Oh my God.
search was not unlawful, but it was, as Geraldo says, unprecedented. And the American people are owed answers. And quite frankly, the FBI has squandered the trust of the American people in its fairness and objectivity. This is the same FBI that used the Democrat-funded, Clinton campaign-funded Steele dossier as the essential element of its FISA applications to surveil the Trump campaign. This is the same FBI that falsified evidence to the FISA court, leading the chief FISA court judge to say that she doesn't trust anything that the FBI tells them. It calls into question every information they tell them.
Yeah, nobody should trust the government at all. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, but this time, we had reason, bro.
Trump-Russia collusion conspiracy theory, after the Mueller report cleared him of collusion, 53% of Americans said that they believed that bias in the FBI led to the investigations, and 63% wanted a special counsel appointed. And also, Martha, this is the same FBI that just last month, Senator Chuck Grassley said that FBI whistleblowers within the FBI, including senior officials, came to him and said that there was a conspiracy, a scheme within the FBI.
There's been schemes within schemes within schemes in the FBI. We pressed F for the FBI a long time ago, bro, but that doesn't mean that this time and Joe Exotic, okay? Look, since COVID, Trump's raid and busting Joe Exotic, okay? The feds were right. They were up to no good.
Suppress the Hunter Biden investigation by painting information that was credible as Russian disinformation.
Dangerous.
And FBI Director Wray has said that's deeply disturbing. So the FBI has no credibility. They need to explain themselves. They need to. There's a history here. 7 years of relentlessly pursuing Donald Trump. They need to explain why this time was different, why they had the right to do this, and they can't simply be silent. They've lost the right to remain silent.
Well, we will see what they come forward with, and it better be good. I think that pretty much says it all.
Martha,
go ahead, real quick,
Quickly, the Trump team must release what they have of the search warrant.
Let me tell you something on that note. Listen to this, because this is a scoop that just came in from Charlie Gasparino, Geraldo, that goes to exactly what you're talking about. This is from Charlie's scoop. Donald Trump and his legal team will likely seek a court order to force the FBI and the Justice Department to turn over a physical copy of a search warrant, the affidavit, and a complete inventory of what was taken in the Mar-a-Lago raid. Well, that would suggest that at least their take is that they did not receive full disclosure on those things, or that what they got was a computer version, or it was too vague. They want hard copies of all of that. So we'll see where that goes. And we got to leave it there, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Geraldo, great to see you. Mark, great to see you as always. We'll be talking more about this in the coming days.
Horrible to see all of you. Horrible to see all of you. What did I even type in to get there? Right-wing news on Trump raid? Is that what I typed? Yeah, they've been flip-flopping like crazy. Let's hop over to Sky. Let's see. Sky News Trump raid. I'm not done. I'm preheating the oven, guys.
Man, you're already getting spicy.
Yeah, I'm preheating the oven. I've decided to go what I call full Hassan today. I'm, over the nonsense, I guess. I don't feel like talking about the news, so I want to, just tear it down. Let's see. I'm trying to find. Let's go for, like, today. Any news? I'm sure they've been talking about it today. Dude.
US lawmakers are now calling on the Justice Department to release details on the search of the former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. The Justice Department still have not released the affidavit they used to support the search warrant. Many Republicans are continuing to show their support for
because
Trump
they're not supposed to yet.
On the operation
I don't know
and
where to
what
put
it
myself.
found. Joining me live is former White House Chief of Staff and Senior Fellow at the US Studies Centre, Mick Mulvaney. Mick, great to see you. Bring us up to speed here. Where's this all at the moment?
Actually, there's a news update. It's amazing how things seem to happen to us on Tuesday morning and in your time, Monday night, my time. When we did this last week, the story was breaking about the FBI raid. And the DOJ just
time zones are amazing.
About the last half an hour saying that they absolutely positively were not going to release the affidavit that you just mentioned. Under our system, Laura, that affidavit is the document, it's the evidence that the government gives to a court when they're trying to justify a search warrant for purposes of going into somebody's home. So it's an absolutely critical document. And Trump has some familiarity with it because this was the document that contained false information back in 2016 when the government got permission to spy on the Trump campaign. So that's why it's everybody sort of knows what these things are and they understand how important they are. And the DOJ came out just in the last little bit here and said that under no circumstances were they going to release that. It would give away much too much information. It would expose.
Yeah, they said they're not going to release the affidavit
and so forth. So I think the folks like myself who've been asking to see that affidavit are going to be disappointed.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So without seeing the affidavit,
we've already had the search warrant released.
Exactly.
Like, there's no point in stashing.
At all. Are you skeptical about the need for the raid in the first place?
I am. I'm skeptical.
It is literally against the law for them to reveal the affidavit until the court, until the whole thing is over.
That's true.
Because it could reveal witnesses.
And the
You're
FBI
right.
had
You're right.
actually
I forget
been
that.
down
And it
to
put
Mar-a-Lago
people in
and
danger.
walked through the building in June. It's unclear if they took documents when they left then, or they
right-wing nuts. We're not going to tell you who all's involved in rolling on the man. Yeah,
went over
we're
to
not giving you
Mar-a-Lago
a Kill Bill list,
and identified a bunch of documents.
Especially
that seems like
when we know these people do crazy things when given information.
By the way, y'all missed some very
and
important
he
documentation. There's
is
some top
very
secret stuff that's still
influential and
there.
wealthy.
Yeah.
One might
no,
expect
just
the
no.
step would be to
Not-
call the
no,
lawyers
yeah,
and
not
say, we
happening.
forgot this stuff. Can we go back in and take it out? As opposed to getting a search warrant. Search warrant means that you have to be able to convince a court under
And
our
these people, I
system
mean, people have
that
been
the
going
evidence
nuts
is in
lately
imminent danger of being destroyed or moved.
about
And
this.
I'm not
Like,
sure what evidence they would offer to that end. So yeah, the fact that it was a search warrant and not a subpoena has got some folks wondering why this is going down the way that it is.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I guess some of the public explanations from Donald Trump seem to have gone back and forth in true Trump style. First of all, saying they weren't classified documents, then saying he declassified them. And to my knowledge, he hasn't explained any of the destroying or supposed destroying of documents.
yeah, he was
Schrodinger's document.
And some
Schrodinger's
information
documents.
seems
Yeah,
like
dude,
it's
he's
false or
he was hiding
inaccurate. The
stuff.
president
Clearly,
tweeted
like
out that they had taken his safe.
he had tried
There doesn't
to
seem
hide
to be any indication
correspondence
in the
that
search
was
warrant
supposed
that
to
the
be
government was looking at the
archived.
safe,
Like,
and then the receipt,
this
which
dude,
has been made public. That's the
like,
list of things that the
hot,
government
dude,
took
we
out
caught
of
you.
Mar-a-Lago. Doesn't make any reference to the safe. Today, a couple hours ago, the president tweeted out that they'd also taken his passports. A very unusual step. And again, that's not on the search warrant and not in the receipts that the government gave the Trump team either. So the president, we're not sure if just the information the government's giving us is wrong or the information he's giving us is wrong. But it's one of those things where
look,
no one's willing
you
to come
cannot
forward and
trust
actually
Trump
say
to
what's
tell the
happening.
truth, and that's standing long before he was president, like way before he was president. But Justin, how are you doing, brother? How are you feeling?
I'm doing all right. It was real hot today.
It's a scorcher today here too. I'm sorry about that. That's the worst. It's the worst feeling in the world, being stuck out in the heat. We've had a muggy heat because we had a bunch of rain, so I felt like I've been in Arkansas summer for the last like 2 days. Like I've felt the Arkansas.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you actually get Arkansas summer. I feel like the lighting in this room doesn't catch how tan I've gotten. I just look pale in this lighting, but I swear I've got a tan. Oh, man. So, where should we land next? Let's see. Sean Hannity, the FBI has earned their shattered reputation. Yeah, look, I'm down to bash the FBI. On this talking point, we might agree, but
and tonight, while President Biden lounges on the beach in Kiel
crazy.
in South Carolina, we're now tracking
While
breaking stories tonight,
the
including
FBI does messed up things, that does not negate the good when they actually do something right. That doesn't make that right thing wrong. Because they've done bad things or wrong things in the past.
Exactly, man.
They gave them ample warning.
Oh, you're breaking up really bad.
They came in plain clothes.
Yeah.
They came in plain clothes. You know, they did everything they could to make it as easy for him as possible.
Yeah, they really did. Like, they did it pretty laid back style, didn't they? Like this is
kids' gloves all the way.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this wasn't some kind of hostile, we're treating him like El Chapo raid. They gave him the full like rich dude treatment. It was a rich dude federal raid. They found some files, they took them, they found some shredded up stuff, they took it, and
he had like 3 months prior to them showing up. Like they were like, "Hey, we didn't get the rest of this stuff," and that was like 3 months ago that they told him that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's had since like spring to give all this information back.
Wow.
And he only gave back what he wanted to give back.
Yeah, he went out of his way to hold on to stuff. Okay, well, what an SOB, dude. What a
developments
real SOB.
from the shooting
Here's
death
Sean
potentially
Hannity. I'm
caused
sure
by
he's
Alec
gonna.
Baldwin.
I'm sure he's
more
gonna
hypocrisy
light
on
the
climate
fire a
change.
little bit.
This time with private jet Hollywood hypocrite Leonardo DiCaprio. Wait till you hear what he did.
Oh, God.
And a shocking report from Minnesota where one teachers union would decide to lay people off based on their race, regardless of their seniority. We'll tell you that story, and later we'll show you how one brave Good Samaritan took matters into his own hands by chasing down a violent robbery suspect. But first, tonight, tensions remain very high, only 1 week after the FBI's raid on the 45th president's home, Mar-a-Lago. Now, this unprecedented search
Every time
and
I see it in the news,
has
I'm like,
further
God,
eroded,
dang.
sadly, many Americans' trust in the FBI and the
That is
DOJ,
gaudy, but
and is now causing the outrage all across the country.
I
Make
too
no
would like
mistake,
to
the
live in a
FBI
massive
has
hotel.
earned their shattered reputation. And
I have the
tonight,
money.
we're going to break down very specifically why conservatives and Trump supporters and many Republicans no longer trust what should have been and should be and can be and once was the premier law enforcement agency in the entire world. Let me be clear, and this is very important.
I don't know about that.
Criticizing and questioning the atrocious behavior of the upper echelon
I like
of the
how
FBI
some like of the
is
Sean
not
Hannity types are like, you know, oh, this pillar of majesty that was the FBI is now shattered forever. It's like, I don't know about that, dude. It's been sketch for a minute, dude. Just because they're not acting on your party's behalf doesn't mean they're shattered forever. Sheesh.
Also, the use of the word raid is just dog whistle all the way in this case.
Yeah.
It wasn't a raid.
It wasn't a raid. Oh, I've been calling it a raid, but yeah, I guess, yeah, you're right. It really wasn't. It was just a seizure, a quick little, I mean, they delivered on a warrant. I don't know. Yeah, it's just
But the thing is when you say raid, in most people's brain, they imagine people coming in fully armed, kicking the doors down, but that's not what happened.
Yeah,
and they're acting like that's what happened.
Yeah, there was nobody gunning to like shoot Trump's dog or anything. You know what I mean? Like, it was just yeah, like you said, kid gloves all the way. So yeah, I guess raid. I wish there was a quicker word in my mind to use.
I mean, seizure makes sense to me.
Yeah, they went and seized presidential classified assets, documents. Although, you know, conspiracy me would like to see these documents. What was he hiding? What was he hiding? What was it though?
A call to violence.
It seems to go to court, loud court,
former President Trump
TV
directed his
court.
team to reach out to the Department of Justice. The message, Donald Trump.
This is kind of off topic, but I want to take Sean Hannity's makeup team to court. Do you see this horrible? Look at this. Look at this makeup. It looks like he's going to be a vampire in a 1930s film. Like, this is insane. Sean Hannity, news anchor and former Dracula.
Will do whatever he can to help our country because, quote, the temperature has to be brought down. Now, President Trump is right. On this program, we totally condemn all threats against the FBI and every other member of law enforcement. If you watch this show, we are consistent. No doubt there are cops that are bad apples. We saw that in the George Floyd case. They commit crimes, they abuse their power, and target their political enemies. Those people must all be held accountable in a court of law, and that would also apply to bad apples in the FBI. Now, sadly, that almost never happens if Donald Trump or a Trump supporter is the target of the abuse. For example, take a look at former FBI official Peter Strzok. Think deeply about this. Go back to August 8th, 2016. Strzok's girlfriend, top FBI lawyer,
Trump
Lisa
appointed
Page,
the person who
terrified at the prospect of a Trump presidency. She texts Peter Strzok, her lover, her colleague, quote, "Trump's not ever going to become president, right? Right?" Strzok responds, "He's not. We'll stop it." He said that he said all of that as a top FBI official, one that worked directly
and it didn't happen.
for the
So I
top
mean,
leadership in the FBI. Then a week
he was
later,
obviously
Strzok
saying,
posted, quote,
yeah, he was
just
just
the path that you threw out for consideration.
Yeah,
Andy, assumably Andrew McCabe's
he was just
office,
trying to get some booty.
that there's no way he gets elected, but I'm afraid we can't take that risk.
He would say anything. This is what bugs me about some of the what is it, Project Veritas leaks, is like, this is a coerced statement. Like you put a cute lady in front of a single dude or a lonely dude, and they said whatever they wanted, what the other side wanted to hear. Like, don't bait, you know, and don't, Sean Hannity, shame on you for building a conspiracy off of a text that's clearly like
in the unlikely
coercive
event you die
in context.
Before 40.
Or
so
could be construed that way.
A top FBI agent with an insurance policy will stop it to thwart the will of the American people and ensure that one candidate can never win a free and fair election in America. By the way, where's that January 6th committee looking into this issue?
Vote?
Now, of course,
you mean every election in my lifetime? I don't.
Collusion hoax. Peter
They've
Strzok
all
is
been
the lead investigator into this bogus conspiracy theory.
Bunk.
His bias was clear. It was obvious. His mission was political.
He's talking about bogus
Strzok,
conspiracy
he never,
theories.
ever faced legal consequences.
Wow.
It's why I often say we don't have equal justice or equal application of our laws in America any longer. That is a sad thing to say, but sadly it's true. Strzok ends up with a book deal.
How so?
His anti-Trump FBI girlfriend got hired by MSDNC. Strzok himself has received numerous invitations to appear all over cable news, including this morning. He was on with Liberal Morning Joe, our old friend. Take a look.
It's not that the FBI is targeting any one side or the other. What you see is the FBI going out on a day-in, day-out basis, objectively investigating allegations of law.
The guy that said, we'll stop it. We'll stop it. The FBI will stop it. And if your plan doesn't work, we've got an insurance policy. No way he's going to win. The lack of self-awareness there, it should seem shocking to everybody. But keep in mind, neither Strzok nor his superiors at the FBI, none of them have ever been held accountable. For example, Peter Strzok's boss, Andrew McCabe, also was very open about his hatred for Donald Trump. McCabe, along with Jim Comey, we know he hates Trump, and Yates, Sally Yates, Rod Rosenstein, they all signed off on either the FISA warrant or the 3 subsequent renewal warrants. In doing so, all of them lied on an application that at the top of the application says verified, that they verified the information. We now know none of it was true. All of the information that they used was unverifiable because it's all been debunked. They committed fraud against a court of law, no equal justice or application of our laws.
It's what they do.
Nobody
Sorry, it didn't work out in your favor.
The evidence
they'd be fine if they did it to Obama.
Wasn't verified or verifiable. The bulk of the supporting material in each of those FISA applications was that woman, Hillary Rodham Clinton's dirty Russian misinformation dossier.
Now,
that
yes,
she paid
Hillary
for.
Clinton.
They were warned that the dossier was filled with salacious campaign op research, including Russian disinformation, and it was not to be trusted. They were warned by even Bruce Moore in August of 2016. Don't use it.
Reasons I didn't vote for, war criminal. End of list.
Like verified. Because, as McCabe once admitted,
I don't really do.
They didn't have that dossier.
Yeah,
they weren't going to get that FISA application approved.
I'm not going to vote for a war
criminal.
criminal.
Desperate to spy on the Trump campaign at that particular time, and the Trump transition team, and later the Trump
been
White
in
House.
an elected office before, probably not.
With lying to the FISA court,
Secretary of
even
State,
after
Vice
they
President.
all admitted, well,
President in the past. I'm good.
Do it
I
all
want to vote
over
for
again,
you.
I wouldn't do it, and if I knew now,
Call me
what
crazy.
I should have known then. Take a look.
If you knew then what you know now, would you have signed the warrant application in June of 2017 against Carter Page?
No, sir.
Okay. If you knew then what you know now, would you have signed the warrant application?
No, I would not.
Well, I believe you didn't know that what you signed was wrong. The question is,
but
if
he
you
didn't
had known,
know
you wouldn't
then.
have signed it. Is that correct?
No, if I had known that it contained incorrect information, I certainly wouldn't have signed it.
Knowing then what you know now about all the things that we've come to find, would you have still signed the warrant application against Carter Page in October, January, and April?
That's for sure.
No, I would want a much more complete understanding of what we were.
Thank you very much.
So they're all admitting that they signed a document that has verified. The word verified at the top was not verifiable. Not one person held accountable for what is corruption and an egregious abuse of power, especially not
their job to verify it.
Oh, exact. Exhibit A. Exhibit B. Sorry they went over everyone's head without, and it didn't work out in your favor. Like, this is what they do. This is what they do. This is how the feds roll, man. Sorry there was something to pick up and that you had it around. Now, you know, I hope Trump feels like people who are just trying to pay their bills and committing what is like classified as a federal crime, someone growing pot or having to, you know, live a little bit of that street life. Like, yeah, sorry, cross the state line. Now all of your stuff is their stuff. And I just, you know, yeah, that's how the feds roll, man. Like, sorry it didn't work out in your favor, Hannity. Sheesh. Sheesh.
Not the patron saint of the FBI, Jim Comey himself. After getting fired by the former president, Comey, of course, leaked privileged material to the New York Times through a friend in order to smear Donald Trump. Of course, Comey's home was never raided by the FBI. By the way, neither was Hillary Clinton's house in Chappaqua. And she grossly mishandled classified information, then attempted to cover her tracks. She deleted 33,000 emails. Nobody had ever heard of bleach bit before that. We all know what it is now. Comey gave her a free pass. Then, even though he found evidence of serious crimes, including that the fact that her servers were hacked by foreign entities that put our country at risk, nah, we're not going to
any
charge
Canadians
Hillary.
near Christie want a cat. Sounds like
Secretary
you've got a litter
Clinton's
coming.
use of a personal email domain was both known by a large number of people and readily apparent. She also used her personal email extensively while outside the United States, including sending and receiving
the information that Trump had was so secret that you can't put it on a computer.
Given that
there's a difference here. I mean, yeah, once again, as we said, don't like her, hate her, but it's still different.
This is written correspondence with the sitting president. She was also Secretary of State. Like, this is completely different. This is different. And again, sorry, the FBI is sketchy. That's how they roll, man. Hey, welcome to the club. Like, all these it's just hilarious. Like, it was Obama's fault years ago. Now I'm sure this is somehow Biden's fault, but it's like, no, the feds have been sketchy.
They still blame Obama.
Yeah, that's true.
They still blame Obama on a daily basis.
That's true. Man, oof. So strange. Just such a strange... how you could go through this as a Republican and not either A, become like full on centrist and hate both sides, or B, realize that these machinations that you're angry at have nothing to do with either side. They're there and ever present, and have been ever present this whole time. I'm starting to sound a little bit like my man Jones, but you know, maybe there's a hole in the internet now. Maybe I'm a little bit like Alex Jones, but not in the Trump supporty way. That dude should never have been president from the jump. Of course he took stuff home. Of course he doesn't know.
You don't encourage people to go out and hurt people. So well, I think you're fine.
Yeah, and then there's and there's Jan 6. So sheesh. We gotta get his ass in court on TV, dude.
We assess it is possible that hostile actors gained access to Secretary Clinton's personal email account.
Hostile regimes had access to top secret classified information. She allowed that to happen, and she was not held accountable. So let's be very clear here. If you're Hillary Clinton and put your country at risk, you're going to get a free pass. If you're Jim Comey, you leak confidential government material through a friend to the media mob, you get a free pass. If you're a high-ranking Trump-hating bureaucrat who lies to a FISA court, you'll also get a free pass. If you're a top FBI investigator who vows to use his power to stop a free and fair election, we'll stop it. We've got an insurance policy.
He said that to a honeypot.
If you're Hunter Biden, you can sell access to the federal government, to China,
to
Russia, to Ukraine, and even
keep bringing up unreliable
over and
characters.
over again, and you're going to get a pass. No early morning raid on Hunter Biden or Joe Biden. That will probably
across
never
the aisle.
happen, despite the prima facie case against him. And if you're Joe Biden, you can leverage $1 billion taxpayer dollars, get a Ukrainian prosecutor fired who is investigating your crack-addicted son, who is making millions of dollars, and he had no experience with oil, energy, gas whatsoever. Nothing's going to happen. On the other hand, if you are a conservative, watch out. If you're Roger Stone, you commit a process crime. You lied to Congress. You're going to get a massive pre-dawn raid, guns drawn, frogmen in the water, complete with fake news CNN cameras tipped off to be there at 5:45
he's still using
in the
the
morning
word. He's
and
still
film
using
it
the
all.
term fake
If you
news.
Paul Manafort and you commit a
As a
FARA
newsman
violation or a tax violation, again, hardly crimes that are dangerous.
They'll
to
never
society.
stop, I don't
Another
think.
massive
That makes me
pre-dawn
so happy.
raid,
It's so
guns
cringeworthy.
pointed at your face, your wife's face, followed by months of solitary confinement to break you. By the way, his new book out, you should read it. It's called Political Prisoner. It's out, by the way, tomorrow. Paul Manafort will be on the show tomorrow. You need to read that book. If you're Peter Navarro, you get
this whole
charged
thing
with
was
a
just
misdemeanor.
promotion.
You
I
get
get it.
shackled at the airport for a misdemeanor, handcuffed, thrown in jail, the same cell that John Hinckley was thrown in, the guy that tried to assassinate Ronald Reagan. Now even the 45th president of the United States, he has been targeted by an early morning raid. And not only did agents
Also
show
living
up
the dream,
in force,
as I
guns
feel you
drawn
there.
To the former president's home, but they
I feel you
also
there. I don't
demanded
feel like
that the
talking about the news
security
today.
cameras be turned off. And they even blocked the president's attorneys from observing the search. Now, why would
Hannity,
they
you
do
right-wing
that? How many
Dracula.
years have we fought for body cams on police to keep everybody honest? Why wouldn't you want the surveillance cameras kept on? Anything you're hiding? Now, tonight, Congress has a duty to hold the FBI and the Department of Justice, those people at
Do they have something to hide? Kind of like taking documents and correspondence when you were president home and stashing them, and never turning them in, even though you were given like a 3-month grace period to turn them in. Sheesh.
Not to mention that that's like such an unsecure place. Like there's literally foreign dignitaries that go there regularly.
Yeah.
And those documents weren't supposed to leave the library.
Yeah. They're supposed to, dude. When they were describing stuff as like taped up and why have you come to the news page today? Oh, this is weird. I want to see not local news. Latest from a particular news channel. Catch up on what happened in the world today is what I want to do. Thanks for your feedback. No problem. No problem. Let's see. Biden has signed an Inflation Reduction Act. What's the deets on that? I'm not trying to...
I've got something before we even start on that.
Oh, what do you
83% of Republican representatives voted against the capping of insulin prices.
What?
And that they made them remove the capping of insulin prices from that bill before they would sign it.
What?
So 83% of Republican representation either want people with diabetes to die or be poor forever.
Wow, they do not want to lose their diabetes money. They're like, no, we are dependent on these people staying fat and needing insulin. Wow, dude. That's some corrupt business right there. Yo, I'm not... the greed in the Republican Party sometimes. That's insane. I mean, it goes both ways, of course, but... Sheesh. That's rough. That's insane. You need to put it there. You have an autoimmune disease, and I had to... Humira was an experimental treatment one time, and I was living in Arkansas, and it was incredibly difficult to get Humira there. Like, it would have to be mailed to me from 2 different CVS's and then to my pharmacy. Why CVS's? I don't know. They never explained that. But, like, if I wasn't insured, it would have cost, like, I think, like, $5,000 a dose. Like, an unlivable... Like, it...
Insurance, people that have to get insulin are still paying ridiculous prices unless they're on like 100% full coverage.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, and it's insane. That's they know what they're doing. They know that there's people who are dependent on it, and Let's see here. This is
We're going to turn now to a big victory at the White House.
Like
President Biden is set to sign the massive health, climate, and tax bill into law later today. Now, this is the largest climate investment in U.S. history, and our chief White House correspondent, Cecilia Vega, has more on how else this bill will impact Americans. Hey, Cecilia, good morning.
Hey, Gio, good morning. Yeah, it's such a big win for President Biden. He's actually interrupting his vacation and flying back to the White House today just for this bill signing. So let me show you what's inside of it, because as you said, it is indeed a big one. We're talking about some $740 billion overall on this health care front. It's going to help some 13 million Americans.
I know I think this anytime a president takes a breath for themselves, but like, is this really a time for a vacation? Is this really the right time to just like,
back from it? That's more than what a lot of past presidents would have done.
Well, the last president was like golf, 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 golf. And so it's nice to see. Yeah, I guess you're right. It's nice to see that he came back to sign a bill for sure that would potentially help all of us.
Americans pay for insurance by expanding subsidies. It caps prescription drug costs at $2,000 a year for Medicare recipients. And then starting next year, those receiving Medicaid would pay no more than $35 a month for insulin. That's that really expensive drug. It's also the largest, as you just said, Gio, climate investment in U.S. history. Listen to this, some $370 billion. This includes tax credits for solar panels, electric vehicles. And look, Democrats say by the end of the decade, these incentives are going to cut greenhouse gas by 40% from those 2005 levels. The big question right now, this is paid for by new taxes on large companies and stepped up IRS enforcement of the rich. Look, the White House is calling this a once-in-a-generation investment, promising that it's going to save Americans by saving them money by reducing inflation and lowering the deficit. But we have heard this from Republicans and many experts who dispute by how much it's actually going to help inflation. Robin, the White House is really planning to capitalize on this one. They're going to hit the road, the president and cabinet members going across the country to just try to convince the American people that this is helping them. Of course, all tied to those midterms that are coming up.
And they'll be here before we know it. All right, Cecilia, as you know, thank you.
Oh, he managed to get us again. Dude, it's George Stephanopoulos. Ah, he got me, dude. Got me. Ugh. All right. How do we step out of the Trump hole? What's something else that's just... It's just something that we hate. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The effects of climate change are causing human migrations.
And now all throughout this summer, we've been experiencing the effects of climate change in real time. Heat waves are longer and more intense. Extreme rains have caused deadly flash flooding across the country. And that's now forcing some Americans to pack up in search of a home safe from the impacts of climate change. NBC News Chief Environmental Affairs correspondent Ann Thompson has that story.
Travis and Ava Lee planned to raise their family in Southern California until drought and wildfires drove them out.
What's made you move?
Climate.
Really?
Yeah.
It's great when it's sunny every day, but after a little while where you start feeling like, geez, I could use a little rain around here.
They moved 450 miles north to Nevada City, but then the fires started there.
Whoa.
During those 5 years, did it happen every summer? Was it
Summer, fall,
that
more
is
like,
insane.
yeah.
every summer?
Every
Summer.
They learned how to prepare, even for the unthinkable.
One of the saddest things that we had to do was to write a letter to our kids, explaining that I might be dead now, and you're going to go with this family member.
Their sons Rilo and Zedric were stressed too. In 2020, Zedric, just 7, made it clear he had had enough.
He's like, we have a fire, and I was like, yeah. He grabbed his head and started banging against the walls. Ooh. And he started screaming, no, I don't want to do this anymore.
Within a year, the Lees relocated to Vermont. They are part of a small but
place
growing
where
number of Americans moving to places less at risk for climate change, particularly New England and the upper Midwest.
How big an impetus is climate change going to be in our need to move?
It's going to be staggering.
Parag Khanna tracks climate migration.
The majority of human beings in this world and live in places that are becoming red zones on the global map.
He says that as climate change worsens, heat and drought risk will be just as important as taxes and schools for prospective homeowners. But not yet. Last year, less climate resilient states,
Reasons
Texas,
I have a
Florida,
cough
and Arizona,
occasionally.
showed the largest population growth in the U.S., indicating a dangerous trend, says climate scientist Michael Mann.
So at the very time when climate change is diminishing water resources, we're seeing people flood into these regions. Obviously, at some point, those two things collide, and they collide catastrophically.
Safe havens like Vermont are struggling with the growing pains of an increased number of remote workers.
Is Vermont ready for an influx of new residents?
Yes, in spirit. The challenges that we face are substantial in terms of our infrastructure.
I asked Michael Mann, as climate change worsens, where will people go?
Yeah, I mean, that's the question, right? We are going to be competing for a smaller and smaller amount of livable space.
For now, the Lees have theirs. Gone are the letters written to their sons in case of the worst.
I just write love notes in their lunch boxes.
That's an upgrade.
But the biggest advantage may be the overwhelming sense of relief.
When your mom and dad would come to you and say, hey, we might have to leave because of the fires, what was the feeling like inside you when you heard those words?
A little bit fear-mongery, but I do think
we're going to turn now to a big
we need to take better care of the planet. I really do. I really do. It's just how I feel about that. I think there's things, particularly on the American continents, that we, maybe indigenous cultures, used to do to help maintain the land. And
they did all kinds of like permaculture projects and did different things to increase the fertility of the soil everywhere, not just in their garden plots.
Yep. See, exactly. I think there's just things that we don't do that we should have, we should have adopted. We should have listened to at the least. I mean, we shouldn't have annihilated cultures that were here, but oof. Okay, so Rudy Giuliani is set to appear in front of a grand jury. All right. I am pretty irate about this Brittany Griner stuff. I still don't see how Brittany Griner is in jail, or is detained. I don't know why she hasn't been
WNBA star
extradited back to the United States. This is insane. And shame on the weed doctor in Arizona.
Is that the one that got caught with? Is that the one that got caught with like a little bit of weed or whatever?
Yeah, with some hemp oil. So just like some hash oil. Not hemp oil, it was hash oil. But like her weed doctor in Arizona, I believe, or a doctor in Arizona told her it was okay.
Brittany Griner have filed an appeal against her 9-year Russian prison sentence for drug possession as talks for a prisoner exchange between the U.S. and Russia continue. For more on this, I'm joined now by Bill Richardson, former U.S. ambassador to the UN, who has been a frequent emissary in hostage negotiations through the Richardson Center for Global Engagement. Ambassador, thank you so much for taking the time being here with us on the show tonight.
Thank you.
Let's start with that news of Griner's team filing an appeal. I'm curious, does that have any impact, you think, on diplomatic talks for a prisoner exchange to bring Griner and fellow detained American Paul Whelan home?
Well, indirectly, it basically says the legal process is over except for the appeal, and it's reasonable to have this appeal, 9-year sentence and a penal penalty. Now there can be negotiations between the United States and Russia. Both seem disposed. There's been a prisoner exchange about 2 months ago, Trevor Reed, that I was indirectly involved in. I think the legal team of Brittany Griner has been effective, showing contrition, acknowledgement of the mistake, and now the appeal. And I think the Russians boot this potential returnee from the American side is very important to Putin. So I think both sides are moving in the right direction. And I'm optimistic.
We know you traveled to Russia ahead of the release, as you mentioned, of American Trevor Reed earlier this spring. Have you, or can you say, or will you be traveling to Russia ahead of any potential release of Griner and Whelan?
No. Well, no, I can't get into that information, but what I can tell you is that I talked to both sides.
Just the little corner
to
where
the
you're
White
like,
House.
whoa.
I talked to
That was a
the
prostitute.
Russians. I have contacts in the Russian government. When I was UN ambassador, for instance, the foreign ministers, Lavrov was my counterpart. I have others that I dealt with as Secretary of Energy.
Yeah.
So I'm not a replacement for the negotiations. I'm kind of a interlocutor indirectly.
No, bring her home. Bring her home. Get her home. Do whatever you gotta do. Trade prisoners then. Just do it. I don't care. It's kind of some nonsense. It sucks that we have this, like, we don't negotiate policy. And it's like, dude, I understand the strategic importance of having a policy like that in the geopolitical mind's eye, but come on. Let's take care of people. Let's maybe be compassionate. This Brittany had no clue. No clue. Uh-oh. Jill Biden has tested positive for COVID-19. Uh-oh, the First Lady's sick. We better check it out. Tell us about it, LA Times. First Lady Jill Biden tested positive for COVID-19 and was experiencing mild symptoms, the White House announced Tuesday. She had been vacationing with President Biden in South Carolina when she began experiencing symptoms on Monday. She has been prescribed the antiviral drug Paxlovid and will isolate at the vacation home for at least 5 days. Okay. Joe Biden tested negative for the virus on Tuesday morning and will wear a mask indoors for 10 days, in line with the Centers for Disease Control's new guidelines. Okay. He recovered from the rebound case of the virus on August 7th. I don't know why it's banging this music, though. Jeez. LA Times really wants to hit you with the bells, bro. Sheesh. I want to get Christy started on Hunter Biden, though. Let's see if we can find that. Let's see if we can find the leaked Hunter Biden crack video. Yeah, boy. Warning. Yo, guys, trigger warning. Trigger warning. Oh, he's nude. Oh, he's nude. Oh, guys, he's naked.
Who just films themselves doing that illegal of a drug?
Somebody who's really high on it. He's cracking claws, boy. Cracking claws in the tub. I will say it's a baller tub room. It's just cheese. Oh yeah.
It almost looks like a tank.
It does look like a fish. Yeah, he looks zooted, dude.
Oh, I've seen that look way too many times. I really want to see it again.
That's yeah, you know what I mean? Like the crackhead, like just walking into your stuff. Like, hey, get out of my space. They're just staring at you. Shoo. Wow. Okay. That wasn't actually the video I was looking for. But okay. Explicit music video. Oh, that's right. He made an explicit music video, didn't he?
An automatic 5 years in jail for any person caught with a rock of crack cocaine.
There it is. There's the crack.
Cocaine.
That's the yeah.
Don't you know who my daddy is?
That Hunter Biden was trading on his father's office to make $50,000 a month from the Ukrainians.
Oh no. Yeah, so he just stays in trouble. He parties hardy. He parties really hardy. I'm pretty sure those were some pretty sure this is a leaked sex tape, isn't it? Wow, dude. That's just that, yeah, Rob Ford vibes. YouTube algorithm was right. The YouTube algorithm was like, you trying to watch this Rob Ford video? I'm like, this is a classic.
That's why he wants to be involved in everything.
No,
He wants to fight everybody's battles. And it's going to kill you.
Kill
Don't do it.
Your kids spend
Your kids are important to you. That's what drives you, baby. That's what I love. That's why we love you.
That's why we love you, baby. The kids drive you.
Okay? okay?
I don't know.
Your children,
Okay,
your family,
they're like
your kids, your footballers, your kids who play football. That's what drives you. Family, kids,
Driving the minority.
and your
I can keep in mind, like, the people at the top, you know, if there was an Illuminati, if there was an Illuminati, you know, there'd be at least, what, 2 out of 5 that are Rob Ford types, because that's how humans are sliced up.
You're right wing?
You know, how much can this guy get? I mean, this is...
Radical guy.
Sure,
Yeah, I'm sort of.
sure. Oh yeah. No. What the we're both
Press F for Rob Ford. He's no longer with us.
Trudeau right there. I don't think get that.
If Joe Biden doesn't start Joe Biden, if Hunter Biden doesn't start acting right, he's gonna be in the same boat.
Up his ass, because he's such a shit. I hate Trudeau.
Gotta get clean. You can't be doing crack on. Film himself naked in a tub.
Hello?
Like, you have literally every opportunity available to you.
Yeah. Like, I've read some leaked stuff. I think we've covered it on the stream before, where he like says he's smarter than Jill, and like he resents everybody in the family who like gets any kind of light that's not, you know, that's, I don't know, anybody. He's just an incredibly jealous person, it sounds like. Entitled, greedy, jealous, and yeah, that'll make you squander any avenue you have that requires any kind of work. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, yeah, guys. Hunter Biden. How the hell? So I guess there's more context to this, Justin. This is smoking drugs during detox after Dad gave him $75K. $75K for this guy to crack out in a wellness center. That stare. Sheesh. Sheesh. Just the creepiest.
That amount of money should never just be given away.
Oh, it's just so creepy. No, that amount of money, no. I mean, you know, I'm sure he felt like he probably should have gotten more. Like, why can't it be 1.5 million for the nicest wellness center? I want to go to, you know, the Malibu Oprah Wellness Center, and it's like, dude, no. You're gonna get well, he still managed to get $75K worth of wellness center, which is super nice. Got that Northeast spoiled boy treatment. It's a demographic I'm tired of, man. We got the college kids back in town, and I love it so much because there's events and life, and I'm busy, and there's stuff going on. There's less bums in my alley, and it's mostly just kids commuting, but I do, you know, you get some entitled, you know, with every college town, you get the wealthy and entitled kids in that college, the people who are probably going to be senators one day and actually run the country. Yep. And good God, do they suck? They just suck sometimes, you know, like just the entire, even just the way they go down a sidewalk sometimes, it's like, dude, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Why are you acting like this? I'm becoming a proper city boy, though. I complain about the city and foot traffic and commutes, and when routes are down, I complain about that. I'll kvetch about anything. But anything. Oof. Well, guys, I say we bring news dump down for the day. I'm trying to do a news dump anytime there's relevant news, and just a few throughout the week. Just, you know, keep the live stream door open and see what everybody's schedules consistently are. It seems like Justin and Chief are still free in the evenings, so we'll have to we got a game or something. We gotta do something. I gotta get a plan. I've been incredibly busy when I'm not streaming lately or editing. I'm either doing entertainment stuff. It's entertainment stuff all the time. That's all I do. That's even when it is outside of here and outside of the apartment. And it's picking back up because it's fall, but keep that steady release schedule of Merk plays and minute music reviews. Anybody seen the newest minute music reviews? We're reviewing the trending music on YouTube now, song at a time.
Was it the K-pop one?
That's the most recent one. I believe that was today's. Yeah.
I started watching it.
Or was the first one? There's a Benny Blanco one, and then there should be another one today. There should have been another one today. I guess we could just, it is my video, we could just watch it. Yeah, Forever One, and then we bet they're both kind of K-poppy, but yeah. The one from today. Rewind that sucker. Minute Music Reviews, guys.
Hi guys, welcome back
it.
to Minute Music Reviews. I'm Merk.
I'm Lux.
And today we're talking about Forever One by Girls' Generation.
Yes, this is kind of more of a K-pop beat.
This is K-pop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is what, yeah,
Yes.
you're right.
My
Justin.
first reaction
It's
was,
K-pop
how
episode.
is this at 23 May? Oh. And then I started getting
Yeah.
really into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Anyway, guys, watch Minute Music Reviews. It's on the homepage. It's on social media. I made it to be shareable on social media so that we can, it's a little promotable project, and I'm pretty proud of it. Gonna keep doing it. So anybody has any music suggestions, or if there's anything anyone wants us to review or talk about, submit that stuff. Drop it in the comments. I read all the comments. Drop it in Discord. I'll do that. I'll do that stuff. All right. Justin, I'm going to bring her on down. I'm going to grab a snack, and then I'll probably be back around. I have a concert this evening. I'm going to go see Shaky Graves.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's one of, it's, Lux has to go kiss babies. So I'm going to go see Shaky Graves tonight. I'm kind of excited about it. It's going to be a big one. A lot of people there, a lot of people related to where I work. So it'll be really interesting. So it's like work/chill gig. Like I'm not on the clock kind of thing. So that's nice. I grab a drink, hang out, check out Shaky Graves, sit in one of the 100 chairs I left out. And yeah, really try to enjoy the evening. But I'll talk to you guys later. Again, watch Merk plays too. Things are getting real wacky now. Trevor showed up in GTA 5. And when Trevor shows up, it goes off the walls. But take her easy, Justin.
You too.
Oh, and everybody, buy some Deathwish coffee, dude. Oh, pillar.io/MURKtv. Click on the Deathwish coffee link. Grab some. It's probably what I'm about to be up to. All right. Later, guys. Like, share, and subscribe.